Happy Hispanic Heritage Month, everybody. This is the Slider Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Power Rangers Mystic Force Episode 30, The Return. So this is a Vita-centric episode, and Vita is played by Angie Diaz, and she is Filipino, well, half Filipino. And so, she plays the on-screen sister of Maddie. And it's cool how they got two Filipino sisters to play this role. And so Vita, she is the Pink Mystic Ranger. And she's quite unique in everything. Quite different than, your average Pink Rangers and stuff. Because normally a Pink Ranger, they're more softer spoken, and in the Sentai footage, they're more dainty and stuff. Vita, on the other hand, is a whole lot more feisty. She's cranky and everything. She's very headstrong, and she gets into arguments a lot with the other Rangers and stuff. And so, oh, by the way, I'm having to skip SPD because I don't know what race Z is. I don't know if she's really Hispanic or if the actress is another race playing her. She could be Italian for all I know. And so, yeah, Vita is very much a different Pink Ranger. She even hates the color pink, even though she has a pink streak in her hair in the beginning of the season. And so she's the first Pink Ranger to hate the color pink, which is completely different from that of Sydney the season prior, because Sydney loved the color pink and stuff. And so so for the most part, she's very different from your average Pink Ranger. Like Jen and Cassie was a little bit different. They was very headstrong. Cassie had a bit of a mouth on her in Turbo, and Jen was very headstrong and stubborn and very determined. But Vita is, like I said before, very, very different. And it's cool to get a different vibe for a Ranger and stuff. Also, her profession is the most different we've ever seen that of a Ranger. She's a DJ, and that's so cool and everything. And they also work at this record shop. And so I picked this episode because when it comes, like I said before, when it comes to the female Rangers on this show, they get shafted, man. They don't have that many solo episodes, and when they do, they have to share it with somebody else. This isn't a full-blown solo episode. I mean, it is. It's it has a lot of her in there, but probably the best solo episode is the one she turns into a vampire. I'm saving that one for my Halloween thing. And so, there's another episode, I think a Code Buster or something a Code Breaker or something like that, where her and Chip, they have a solo pairing episode. There's one with her and Nick, where they have a pairing solo episode. And in this one, she kind of shares the screen light with that of Xander, but Xander's not really the main character. He's just there for backup support. Her and Maddie have never had a solo pairing episode, which is bizarre because they play sisters and stuff. But the reason why I picked this episode, even though she does not defeat the monster, is because we see a completely different side of Vita in this episode. For whatever reason, she's friendly, she's nice, she's caring, she's compassionate, and she tries to reform a monster and turn him good. This is very unusual for her, because she normally likes to rush into a situation and just start fighting sometimes and stuff, And with her and her feistiness, it's very odd she would be the sympathetic person, but she really does. And we've seen episodes like this in Power Rangers plenty of times, where it's they find a monster, the monster's not really all that bad, they try to redeem them. We've seen it in Time Force, we've seen it in Lost Galaxy, in space. But here, I feel like it was rushed. It wasn't done as good as the other ones and stuff. I'm not sure if the monster she tries to redeem, if he showed good qualities before. It's been a while since I watched this season and stuff. But I just feel like it was rushed because there's a lot going on in here. This is the episode before the two-part series finale, or season finale, I should say. So they tried to cram a couple of good stuff in here before, they had to like wrap everything up. With 32 episodes a season, it was pretty short as compared to something that would have like 40. They needed a few more episodes. But because of that compassion, I just feel like this needed to be her episode to talk about and stuff. So it always says online that these Rangers are teenagers, but I don't recall them ever being teens or them ever going to school. They might be young adults, because how is a teenager gonna be a DJ? Like, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, so the Rangers are at their record shop and they're there with Lily and they're there with their boss and everything. What's that dude's name? Toby and stuff. And so like he now knows the Rangers are like, those people that work for him and stuff. And he's very shocked by all this. And it's cool that he finally now knows. And of course he played Piggy in SPD. And that's really the only crossover we ever had when Piggy showed up for that Gingy episode and stuff. And so at some point Phineas shows up and him and Lily are now like an item and all this other stuff. But the Rangers get called to duty. Why? Because the master is coming soon and he needs a vessel. He needs one of his minions. And so the monster that like turns over a new leaf is Matumbo. And so for whatever reason, he's not as evil as like all the other 10 terrorists. And so he has to be the new vessel. He has to collect all this electrical energy and all this. So he's up and about like all big, and the Rangers show up in their Zords. And he's just collecting energy, and he tells them something. Yo, I won't hurt you. I'm just here to collect the energy. And so Vita is kind of odd out by this. And so the Rangers, of course, attack, and he knocks them out their Zords, and he goes to collect energy. So they have to go looking for him. As he's collecting energy and everything, all small now, a little boy runs out into the road to follow his ball. And when he almost gets hit by a car, Matumbo, he makes the car stop, and he befriends the little boy for a brief second. Watching all this is Vita from above. And so Vita, for whatever reason, is still shook by like what he told her about not wanting to hurt them. So she teaches him what a ball is. The boy gave it to him as a gift. And she teaches him like how you can play with it and stuff. Once again, we've seen this happen before, but it's done so much better in Lost Galaxy. And so like Xander shows up. He thinks Vita's gonna get hurt, so he attacks the monster. But she makes both of them put their weapons down. And she convinces Xander, and what's his name, they're not each other's enemies, and if you're on this path of redemption, blah blah, stuff like that. So of course, this don't last long, because here comes his allies. Want to know what the heck is going on? And they're all like, yo dude, the master chose you to be the vessel, and if you don't want to be it, then you're just gonna have to get destroyed or whatever, or something like that. So of course they attack the Rangers. And so as this is going on, Vita is kind of like, yo, I gotta get this dude up out of here. So she steals the after getting their butts kicked and everything and trying to protect him, she steals the Solaris Knight's like lamp. Gingy takes his punch hole card thing, summon his train Zord, and she gets the heck on out of Dodge. It was very rushed. I wish the Sentai was a little bit more like fluent and stuff, because it just happened so quickly, and they had to paste some stuff together with the editing and stuff. So it was always kind of jumbled and everything. And him and her bond while they're on the train and everything. And it's kind of funny because nobody knows where they're at, so they have to go looking for it. And of course, Xander is the one who ends up finding them and stuff. And so, they're trying to get, the monster to, safety. But, oh no, here comes another bad guy. And so, this bad guy, one of the terrorists, he ain't having it. He whoops both their behind when they're in their booster mode form. I forget what it's called. I think it's ancient spirit mode or something. I can't remember. But it's really cool. Why did Hasbro have to stop making toys? I wanted one of those so bad. Anyway, they're getting their butts handed to them. And so while this is going on, Atasis, I think that's how you say her name. I'm not sure how to say it. Atasis, something like that. She is one of the terrorists, but she's the smart one of the group, and she's not all for like destruction and destroying. She's all about gaining knowledge and stuff. And she knows exactly where Vita, Xander, and the monster is. And she said she'll tell the Rangers so they can help, because he's probably getting his butt kicked if they answer like a question and stuff. So she asked them like one of those like riddles and stuff, and they answer, they all know the answer. It's like courage. So she takes them to where like, their friends are and stuff. Now, while all this is going on, Udana, the White Ranger, is looking for her husband, Liambo. He disappeared a couple of episodes ago, trying to prevent the Master from coming, and I think he's down in like the pit where the gate sealed off with the Master, and he's fighting the terrorists as best as he can till he gets his butt whooped. So she uses her astral projection form to find him, and she does, calling on her staff, and she does one of the coolest things ever. So as the Rangers are getting their butts handed to them and everything, all of a sudden a certain person shows up with a brand new shiny morpher. It's Liambo with a red morpher that looks just like the Rangers morphers. And he morphs into like a red variant or Korag. And he's the wolf warrior and everything. And so he just opens up a can of, honey whooping and stuff. And he like defeat the terror and everything. So that's another terror down. Problem is, the one that's supposed to be the vessel of the monster, he gets attacked by another terror. His body busts wide open and everything, and the Master forms. And the Master is a very cool looking design. Man, I'm telling you, like, like these Sentai designs, man, they're awesome looking and stuff. And the monster, not the monster, but the Master is no like person to play with and stuff. He will whoop on you and stuff. And so the Rangers, they're worried and everything because the person they've been preventing from showing up has finally shown up. And so like I said, not the biggest Vita type episode, but it's an episode that shows her in a completely different light. I like seeing her compassionate side. It would have been nice to see that a whole lot more. The only time we ever saw that before is when Maddie got turned to stone and everything. And of course, that's her sister. So of course she'll be worried and stuff like that. But normally she is the feisty one who's always arguing with people. But it's interesting because she befriended a monster. Now I forget how and why, but the monster does come back, I believe, in the finale when she dons pink hair, and people are a little bit more open to monsters and like the magic world and stuff and all their creatures. Leading into SPD. Just like Piggy said, about 20 years from now, aliens will live amongst you humans and stuff like that. Which I have no idea how Cosmic Fury is about to end, because I have not seen that yet, because I don't do Netflix. Me and Netflix do not get along. So like whenever I do get to see it, I'll see it. I'm hoping they make some nods to SPD and everything. That would be nice, because this is supposed to be the last season and everything. But I don't know. I just know the fan base is divided on Twitter right now when it comes to like Cosmic Fury and stuff.